Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Friday, April the 25th. We have 3 games tonight in the National Hockey League as well. So let's start at the top of the board. Coming out of last night's game between Tampa Bay and Florida, some questions out there. And one question was whether or not Brandon Hagel would be facing a suspension. The answer to that is yes. The very productive forward for the Tampa Bay Lightning has a hearing. So a suspension is on the way. If it's going to be a fine, they'll just announce the fine. If it's a hearing, it's a suspension. So I would think probably 1 game. I think the fact, too, that the hit is thrown, and I've heard people talking about, it's not that bad of a hit, but there's no puck anywhere near it. And so Barkov's not ready for the hit there. He's not braced himself, and it just means that you're taking the hit a lot worse than you would if you were ready for it if you had the puck. So Hagel's going to get suspended. We'll see how many games it is. Let me know your prediction in the comment section below. Patrick Laine's status for game 3 tonight is up in the air. He wasn't at practice. They're saying it's a maintenance day. He did get benched for the 3rd period in game 2. So maybe he's been fighting something. Maybe that's part of why his play has been noteworthy for not the right reasons recently. But it definitely sounds like Laine could very well end up being out of the lineup for Montreal tonight. We shall see. The Edmonton Oilers making an interesting decision for Game 3 tonight. It will be Calvin Pickard. So Pickard gets a chance to try to turn things around as the Oilers are down 2-0. I do recall at points last year when the Oilers would make that switch in net during the playoffs. So we'll see how many games Pickard gets and all that fun stuff, but he's going to get the start tonight. A absolute must-win for the Edmonton Oilers. I want to jump down here and then we'll go over here. Barkov, coming out of that hit from Hagel, his status for Game 3 is uncertain. As I said last night, to me it looked like he might be dealing with a concussion. Just looked really glazed sitting there, and Barkov's not the kind of player who's going to stand out on the ice. There are players who will stay down on the ice and kind of milk it. I think my favorite thing in a game is when you can see a guy down on the ice and he's rolling around and then the puck goes the other way and they just jump right up. It's a miracle he's fine. But Barkov's not that guy. So when Barkov's down on the ice and he's hurt, he is really hurt. And so hopefully he's able to play in Game 3. If Barkov's out and Hagel's out, that could change a lot in the top 6 for both teams. Let's go over to Nikishin. So Nikishin was supposed to be coming over and playing for Carolina, and there's a lot of excitement with Carolina fans. It sounds like the management in Carolina, though, is not well regarded, and this is translated. This appears to be translated. So at times there's translated articles, and things might get lost in translation, but the agent and those representing Nikishin are not happy because Carolina has not registered the contract with the National Hockey League. So is it signed? Yes. But until it's registered, until it's turned into the NHL, it's not an active contract. And apparently Eric Tulsky has an attitude of, we're up 2-0. We don't really need him in the lineup right now. So there's no rush. What's the rush? Well, for Nikishin, there's obviously a rush because this is completely changing his life. He'd be coming over and playing in North America. So I understand the upset on his behalf. The other part is there's a $92,500 signing bonus, which, I mean, to those of us, in the real world, that's $92,000. That's nothing. But for hockey players, that can be some money. These guys get hard up. So all kidding aside, that is a lot of money for a young player coming over to play. And the fact that that's being held up. And there's other bonuses in there too. Like I think there's a Conn Smythe bonus. Young players are getting Conn Smythe bonuses now, even though the odds of them winning a Conn Smythe is very, very low. But if this continues, what's being said is that Carolina kind of has a reputation for doing this with players, whether that's true or not. And that if it continues, he could go home. He could be like, I'll go back to Russia then. Or he could demand a trade. So this situation with Carolina... remember Canes fans, you guys wanted me to talk about Nikishin? Here we are. He is not with the team. He does not have a contract currently, apparently, or at the very least he has a contract. They haven't turned it in. And for Carolina, they don't really see a need to rush to turn it in. I think there's a rush to turn it in. I think that rush is because otherwise you could lose the player altogether. So we'll see if this report coming out changes anything, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I think it's weird. Why sign a guy to the contract and then not register it with the league? I don't get that. If there's no rush, then why sign the contract? Because obviously if I sign a contract with the team, I'm expecting to play for that team. I'm expecting that contract to be registered. Luke Hughes, Brendan Dillon are not going to be playing tonight for the New Jersey Devils. Although the hope is that Siegenthaler will play tonight. Sheldon Keefe saying he hopes for that, and that Keefe says that Siegenthaler says he feels good and feels like he can go. That would be a huge boost for New Jersey, even though not having Hughes or Dillon, that hurts. New Jersey in a must-win situation. A lot of teams in must-win situations already. I'm starting to wonder if this first round is going to be over quickly. I am. I'm starting to wonder if a lot of series are going to be done in 4 or 5, and maybe we'll have a couple go to 6, maybe one go to 7. We shall see. That does happen at times. So this is kind of a... I understand why the league's investigating it, but I don't think there's anything there. Nick Cousins and Anthony Stolarz played together on the Florida Panthers last year. So during warm-ups last night, Nick Cousins was caught flipping the puck into the Toronto Maple Leafs or Anthony Stolarz's net. And the NHL doesn't like stuff that goes on in warm-ups. They don't like any of that because there might be those in the NHL that remembers when you could have a brawl during warm-ups. So they don't want that, and they want to make sure that this one-upsmanship doesn't happen. So they're investigating this incident, but I don't think there's anything there. Travis Green was asked about it after the game last night, and he basically jokingly said he can't talk about anything when there's an active investigation going on. So, and he also said it happens a lot more than you think. And the NHL, as much as it's a physical war, it's a psychological one. If you watch players talk to each other on the ice during the playoffs, you can see where guys are taunting each other. You absolutely can. It happens during almost any game. And because when you see them chatting back and forth with each other, just try to read lips. And beware when you're trying to read lips of hockey players. But they do. They taunt each other. They make little comments. They comment on the way past the bench. They flip pucks around. They do little things. I'm not surprised it happens during warm-ups. I understand the NHL wanting to clamp down on that, but I don't think there's anything here. I think there'll probably be just a notice sent to the team of, don't do this. We don't want to have to, deal with all of this. So please stop it. So we'll see how that goes. So the awards, the finalists are going to be announced for the awards, and then the awards themselves will probably be announced afterwards. The Vezina Trophy, the finalists will be announced on April 28th. That's Monday. And then the next night, on the Tuesday, the Norris finalists are revealed. On the 30th, the Ted Lindsay finalists. And then on May 31st, the Thursday, it's the Hart. I'm always interested to see, with Lindsay and Hart, how the players voted for the best player in the league and how the reporters voted on league MVP. And see if those are the same 3 players. Usually they're not, right? Then on Friday, May 2nd, 4 awards we'll know the finalists for. The Masterton, which has got to be tough to vote on, really, because all of them have very good stories. This year, it feels like all 32 were the candidates. The Selke, the Jack Adams, which is Coach of the Year, and the Lady Byng. The Calder we'll know the finalists on Monday, May the 5th, and then a week to the day later, on Monday, May 12th, the Willie O'Ree Community Award, we'll know the finalists there. Once the second round is done, we'll also know who's up for the Jim Gregory Award for General Manager of the Year. So that's the award finalists. That's when we'll know who they are. And if they follow suit, we'll probably know who some of the winners are between now and the end of the end of the playoffs. I do kind of wish with the NHL that the way that the award show and everything that's been done, I do think there's a lot of ways that could be fixed, but they don't contact me about it. So I won't share any insights. But let me know your thoughts on who you think's going to win all those awards. Why not? Sure. 3 games tonight in the National Hockey League. And staggered out, I'll be able to get these reviews done. What? I won't have to stack them back to back to back. I did talk about last night how I think that's probably the last time in the playoffs I'll have to do 4 games back to back to back to back. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start, Washington and Montreal game 3. The Capitals up 2-0. Must win. Yep. These are all must wins. All of these series tonight are hinging on what happens in game 3. And for Montreal, they know they can skate with the Caps. They know they can play really well. The bad news is Protas could be back in the lineup tonight for the Capitals. He has not been ruled out as of yet. And if we've seen anything in these playoffs, it's usually when a player hasn't been ruled out at this stage, when we're this close to the game, they're probably playing. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start, Carolina in New Jersey against the Devils. The Devils have to win. So in all 3 of these games tonight, too, the home team needs to win. absolutely has to, or else they're going to be down 3-0. So fascinating that we're seeing this play out. Like I said earlier, it does feel like a lot of these series could be done quickly. So Carolina looking to put the hammer down on a beat-up New Jersey team. At 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, the LA Kings against the Edmonton Oilers. This is in Edmonton. For the LA Kings, if they can score early on Pickard, put that doubt in Edmonton's mind, this game could go badly for the Oilers. But if the Oilers can use the fans being into it, and if they can have the kind of start that St. Louis did last night against Winnipeg, it can easily go the other way. The Kings are not anywhere near as intimidating on the road as they are at home. At least they weren't during the regular season. So we'll see if that continues tonight with a game that's going to feature Calvin Pickard as the starter. It's going to be interesting. So let me know your picks for tonight too. Why not? Let me know your thoughts as well on any of the articles on the board, and we'll see if Nikishin comes over and plays for Carolina. Now that this is out there, I think it puts a little more pressure on Carolina to register that contract. I don't think they want to risk losing the player. I'll put it that way. And so register the contract. All right. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much once again, and I will talk to you again soon.